Welcome to a special emergency episode of Public Power Underground, an original cast edition recorded on December 1st, 2022, Paul Dockery's last day at Clatskanie PUD.
I think it's a nostalgia pod.
Did I miss it? Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just adding. I'm interjecting.
I like it.
You're getting
thrown
off
Friday. And it's a throwback script.
It is a throwback script.
So we'll just go right into that Guillory dug up in her archives somewhere.
Yep.
And if you haven't been listening or watching since the beginning, we recommend skipping entirely because these jokes aren't for you.
Exactly.
Public power people.
Yeah, that felt right.
Wait,
We're
since
all
I didn't
in
attend every
this
episode.
together, no this will
Well, that's why you don't have any lines in the script.
Yeah.
It's here for the music.
Yeah. Just for the music interlude. Yeah.
All right. Public Power Underground is a Northwest Public Power's premier weekly infotainment series that covers Northwest Public Power and public power adjacent news. Our series began as an awkward, forced fun time for the Power Department 5 seasons ago when we altered our work arrangements at the start of a transitioning pandemic. It has evolved into a forum to chat with public power professionals about niche topics that are entertaining to an extremely small group of electric utility enthusiasts. And if you're listening to this, that means you.
And we did decide it was niche.
Yeah,
this is something
remember.
You corrected me on.
I did, and then I sat in my office trying to figure out which one without actually looking it up.
No, you did. You corrected me. It is niche, as I recall. Yep.
Well, it's been a while.
It has.
All right. I'm the Economic Development Manager for Clatskanie PUD, a former member of the Power Department, and the voice of the underground, Brian Fawcett.
Woo! And I think I have I don't know what that is.
Soundboard.
That's a check.
It's gonna do something.
And then I don't have it's going to be great.
Joining me is the Editor-in-Chief, Executive Producer, Lead Writer, and Creative Director of Public Power Underground, and for one last day, the leader of the Power Department for Clatskanie PUD, Paul Dockery. Hello, Paul.
Thank you, Brian. It's really nice to be here. It's good to be with the original crew.
Yes,
100%.
I'm happy to be back as well, and this is...
And earlier, I did make sure we started addressing it as the Eric Hyacin chair for the head of the Power Department at Clatskanie PUD. That's what I was. I filled a chair, a named chair, named
Somebody
after
has
Eric
a big
Hyacin.
chair to fill.
Yes,
I'll
exactly,
say that.
exactly. The long line.
A new chair to fill. I'm not really sure.
Yep.
Probably don't need to get
I'm
into
also
that.
taking the chair, actually. Yes. Good to be here with all of you.
Also joining us is the star of Aaron Reports and co-star of Public Power Underground, a former member of the Power Department, and Clatskanie PUD's controller, Aaron Guillory. Good afternoon, Aaron.
You know what? Good afternoon. It is so good to be back here in the Power Department cul-de-sac with people here. Sometimes I just stay here late and I walk through, nostalgically, but good to see you guys. Good to see you guys here.
Thank you for the proper naming of the cul-de-sac, too.
Yeah.
I feel like that is one of my contributions, actually, to the Power Department, is renaming it from the Tower of Power to the cul-de-sac. Because this is, in fact, a cul-de-sac. It is a weirdly spaced cul-de-sac. And I feel like that's my contribution.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Greatest contribution? Greatest.
Debatable.
We'll see how it goes.
Our other co-star, and get ready for this, of Public Power Underground, the coding wizard of R and Python, our resident Genesis apprentices, a Reddit user, active Reddit user, I should say, Banjolele virtuoso, trained linguist, a Dark Age of Camelot mending pacifying healer, credentialed Stack Overflow contributor, a lieutenant in the Grammar Police, and current Senior Power Analyst, Ian, the Neural Network Bledsoe.
We're breaking news.
Thanks. I guess I'll issue your citation for the incorrect pronunciation later.
Yeah, I have no idea. I probably mispronounced
That's
4
respectful.
things in there.
Yeah, we better.
That's
I'll just
respectful.
lump them all together.
Yeah, that was a lot. I think we'll come back to those at the end.
Credentialed on Stack Overflow. What are your credentials currently? Have you
like
continued to
4
accrue?
Copper coins for asking good questions.
Ooh.
And I think I've got 2 silver coins for answering probably not very good questions.
All right.
But were they good answers?
I didn't just tell them that it was a stupid question, which was the actual correct answer. So
So you got a silver coin.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
And congratulations. I signed today your change to a Senior Power Analyst, your promotion to a Senior Power Analyst.
thank you.
Very excited
I'm
about
ready.
it. Yeah. So one of the other contributions was the district planning model, and that is not my greatest contribution because Ian is probably going to very much dislike using it entirely.
Fixing it's the first.
Ooh,
Man. Do we have a button for that?
Oh no! It is. It's not my greatest contribution, but there is a lot of pride of authorship of a lot of those formulas in the district planning
Could be
model.
cleaned up with a few VLOOKUPs.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Probably
Never.
could be like a tenth the amount of code with a couple of
Seriously.
VLOOKUPs.
No,
Yeah.
that's not.
It might take 10 times as long to run at
Yeah.
that point, but
Okay.
And it would be so easy to
Are you
break.
supporting my call?
a little bit of both.
So much easier to break
Okay.
if they're VLOOKUPs. So much easier to break. I did some. I'm obviously getting stuff out of my office, and I did find things from. So this whole thing started with just awkward forced fun time during our department meetings. And during this awkward forced fun time, we had these wonderful, what did we call it? Scribble, doodle, jingle? Remember
Yes, yeah.
Scribble, doodle, jingle?
Well, your kids are the
Yeah,
ones who
your
came
kids
up with
came up
it.
with
So.
it.
Yes, they did actually. They did come up with Scribble. So, and Ian was generous enough to leave behind a scribble from Scribble, Doodle,
remember that
Jingle.
one.
And he initialed it, and I'm taking this with me. I'm keeping this, Ian. Thank you.
Yeah.
It has been
For you.
in my office
The
this
fact
whole
that
time.
it's not framed yet is a little bit insulting, but
It was hanging. It was hanging in my office.
then again, if the artist gave it to you without it framed, would it be insulting to then frame it?
Right. It would not.
That clearly being not the artist's intention.
I think that. I don't know who did this one. I don't think it was Ian.
My gosh.
I think
That
it must have
doesn't
been
look
Aaron.
like something. That's too talented.
Yeah,
for it
I'm
to be
pretty
me.
sure this
Me
one's
as well.
Brian. We have, and I'm not sure. Is this like some sort of chickadee, and this is a penguin?
I have no idea.
Yes, but
Specifically.
I do want your. I'm just going to assume this was Guillory and this was Brian,
wow.
and I want your signatures
That's a
on it
compliment.
so that
I'm
I can
not sure
take
that
it.
I did this. I mean, I'll sign
I
it,
don't know.
but
I don't know.
I'm pretty I don't know
tried
either.
to make sure there were no records
I
of
don't know
my.
if it was me. This looks too
drawing.
good to be
Well, now you're going to initial somebody else's. Then, I
Hey,
guess.
I'm all right with it.
I guess. And I mean, the amount of just terrible fun I don't know, forced Ian to have with us during the department meetings, I think will forever be memorable to me. And I do think, this is one of my theories, that the department has, evolved ever since, right? But I do think the core, the entering into the pandemic together has this unique bonding experience in which I think those Zoom meetings will forever be what's the term for better in my head than they were in real life?
I don't know. A lot of people, they do Zoom faux pas, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to undouble mute myself. We got all that out of the way. I'm never sorry that I do that. I know now it just happens all the time. Constantly.
It's part of Zoom meetings,
Yeah.
and you don't apologize for it. You just roll with
Because
it.
apologizing it only delays the meeting further.
It's just another faux pas.
Yeah. The other thing I found was Anadromous Championship belts that had not yet been conveyed. So I already conveyed one to Brian during an
Proudly
NWPP
displayed.
annual meeting. And this is the moment, and I feel like this is the right moment to convey it to each of you.
Love it.
For all of the times that you came on Public Power Underground for being original members. So I'm going to start with you, Ian, and convey the Anadromous Championship belt for the best friend of the Underground because you keep coming back. You left early frequently, but we forgave you because we do very much appreciate you, Ian. Do really. I hope you feel appreciated as much as you are. So it is. You don't get the big belt because Kurt stole it and he'll never give it back.
So
But
is this a bracelet or
it's just a bookshelf. You put it on your
choker?
bookshelf.
Wow.
And none of you brought your Undie awards. And I do feel like the Anadromous Championship belt is not as good as the Undie award for the fastest reader of Aaron Reports or whatever it was. But Guillory, you also just appreciation for being a best friend of the Underground and keep coming back.
Wow.
So there is
Thank
your
you.
Anadromous Championship belt.
Thank you. I
I'm-
probably could, but I won't wear this as a choker.
There we go.
I did find my
Yes.
my Undie award. I couldn't remember what it was for, but it is best hair in hosting, which is a huge honor. So
It is.
this will always be displayed.
Yes, with all the other things you
Yes.
display in your office. Yes. One of my favorite things from those department meetings was introducing the concept of Zoom duels, with no one but me liked. But I always enjoyed the banjolele versus ranting power manager segments. So I think we should do one to close it out. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get to this? We all have a deadline for our lives.
I think we should go into the duel.
You're right. So the rules. Anybody remember the rules?
I did. I thought the only rule was there is no rules.
Yeah, that was probably okay.
Or I just made that up now.
Is there-
Don't ask
Feels right.
questions.
I'm trying to think of whether there was
Feels
any
consistent.
context for this, but obviously when you're on Zoom, everybody understands you end up talking over each other, right? And so you'd end up you cut out if both people are talking. So the idea of a Zoom duel was to get Ian playing something so
Yeah.
that you would tune me out when I was talking about something.
Well, I remember every time I had to turn my headphones off because it's really distracting to hear somebody ranting about something while you're playing. So it's
Yeah. I think you played during the rants / some of the Pictionary playing or something like
I
that.
might have just played without permission. All the
I
time.
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
That was,
Well, I think it
it's on
started.
point, too. It's on point as well.
The Zoom duel started with first scribble doodle jingle. He would do a ukulele as the jingle, and we should actually tell people we had an actual Excel spreadsheet that would randomize the selection of who had to doodle, who had to scribble on the blackboard in the Zoom, and then who had to pick a jingle to sing, which ended up just playing something on Spotify. And I think when Ian did it, he would play the banjolele, ukulele, what's the other one?
That was
Yeah.
so long ago.
It was so long ago.
Was that a year and a half? 2 years ago?
Feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah. So anyway, the rules are generally Ian would try to drown me out. So we're gonna do that, and it's gonna be amazing and wonderful. You ready? You ready, Ian? Transitions are hard, and we've talked about how hard transitions are for 5 seasons on Public Power Underground. It is one of the absolute themes of the Underground. And we've worked on hard things right here in the cul-de-sac many times. I think approaching transitions through optimism and hope and belief in our own agency to be successful is really important. But I also think being honest about how hard transitions are is important too. And I don't want to enumerate all the very hard things associated with the transitions around it's like some sort of therapeutic gripe session. But I do think reckoning with the emotions of a transition are incredibly important. There's stress, system stress because of the thousands of logistical steps and worries that aren't part of our normal routine. There's fear of inadequacy. Do we have what it takes to be successful in the world we're transitioning to? And there's grief. There's grief of what we're losing, the lost status, the lost comforts, and the lost advantages. All those emotions are hard, and the transitions make them harder. But please do me this favor. Think of all our friends, all the folks who've joined this power department along the way as honorary members of the power department, people that bought the mug to be honorary members of the power department. All the guests we've had, all the community we've shared, and I want you all to be grateful that we're going through this with all those other folks. Because I promise you, transitions are hard, but transitions are harder when you do them alone. And there ain't nobody in this room doing it alone. Aaron, do you remember which animal has the longest memory?
An elephant.
Yes. And Brian, what are we going to do when the transition is hard and we're worried and we're struggling?
We're going to remember that we're part of a community.
That's right. I agree. Let's get through this now. Let's get through this together, and let's keep growing this community onward and forward.
We started in hard times to bring us all in. Into the laughter through thick and through thin. For public power enthusiasts without and within. Roll on, enthusiasts, roll on. Roll on, enthusiasts, rolls on. Roll on, enthusiasts, roll on. We're likely recruiting you to come and join on. Roll on, enthusiasts, roll on. We bring in some people way smarter than us. Those in the industry with knowledge to trust. We know we aren't perfect, sometimes it's a bust. But we'll roll on,
enthusiasts, roll on. Public Power Underground for electric utility enthusiasts. Public Power Underground, it's work to watch.